Hey everybody, it's Tiqqle, and in this video we're talking about the latest update for patch 8.2 having to do with Lightning Lasso. I'm sure all you Ellie boys out there are wondering, wait, what? Yeah, it was buried within all of the changes that have been going on week after week on the PTR for 8.2. There's been a lot of hype about Classic. There's been a lot of hype about, when that's going to be released. But when 8.2 is going to be released in about potentially 2 weeks, because the end of season warning was coming up, I think it's good to review what's going on with Ellie. So specifically, one of the biggest things that is just announced, changed just the other day, was that Lightning Lasso is being modified. The way it's being modified is it's being changed from what it is on live, which 40% of the maximum health of the target and nature damage over 5 seconds. You can use it while moving, but it is that kind of undispellable stun that is changing to be based off of spell power. Now, spell power is all based on around your int in BFA, and unlike Classic. And yeah, so it's going to be int based, which is kind of interesting. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to show the damage on BFA of the 40% HP, and then we're going to swap over to Classic. Oh my gosh, swap over to PTR. That's where my head's at. And show you what it is on there, because this is PTR, and you'll be able to tell by if this bug report is around on the screen. You'll know, and I'm also naked transmog on this one. Basically, you can read Lightning Lasso here. Instead of 40% health, it says grips the target, dealing 63,000 nature damage over 5 seconds while they're lassoed. Can move while casting, which is kind of nice. So what I've done is I'm going this spec, which has no amplifiers here except for Master the Elements, which we will test. But yeah, so let's go ahead and just start doing some testing. This video is going to be pretty kind of analyzing what's doing what. I have my damage meter right here as well. Now, I'm assuming that haste won't be affecting anything because it's still set at 5 seconds, and those intervals will probably be pretty set. And guys, big shout out to Dalaran Gaming, who pointed out that the lasso changes were coming, and a few suggestions about using int trinkets and everything. So big shout out to him. Make sure to go to his channel in the description, show him some love, throw that sub over there. He's cranking WoW content non-stop about 8.2. If you play other classes and everything, go check him out, guys. Big shout out to him. Back to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to test the damage out. We're going to show how much it ticks on live and how much it ticks for on PTR. So this is PTR. Let's start with the live server. So again, this is my build. I purposely took off my spirit trinket. I purposely have taken off some things that would change the combat log, make it a little bit more confusing, like Earth and Rage. So what we'll do here is, here's my combat log, right? I'm going to just click lasso and we're going to see what happens, right? And again, this is not a PvP target, but it is what it is. Okay. My gloves. All right, anyway, that's fine. All right, so Lightning Lasso, which also triggers my Spiteful Bindings, which is kind of awesome. But anyway, Lightning Lasso just ticked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times for the 5 seconds, meaning it's every second it's doing this damage, for 18,500 nature damage. Okay, now let me just take a step back. Again, this dummy is a PvE dummy. It's not the dummy that will be applied in PvP. So in PvP, usually when I'm using Lasso, like if we go to an arena, let's go ahead and take a look. Lasso is ticking for, you can see it's about 17k, which is actually kind of nice because that's pretty close to what we're seeing on this dummy. But I want to make sure, because there's definitely people in the chat that are going to say, yo, Tiqqle, the training dummy has a huge health pool. The damage numbers aren't exactly right. Yeah, we're testing it with something that's standing there that isn't a person. It's not the best, but at least it's a baseline. And what you can see is Lightning Lasso ticked in this arena. I casted it twice, ticked on average for 17k very consistently. We'll check another one. And that's 16k. Now again, this is based off the max HP of the player. So sometimes it could tick for more, sometimes it could tick for less, around 15k. So it is a little bit less than what I'm seeing on this dummy, 12k. So it matters, right? Which is good and bad. A lot of people are not very happy about percentage-based abilities. It's a hard thing to kind of think about because it basically, as HP pools are going to go up over an X-Pack, over gears being released, stamina pools get bigger and bigger. We're now at 230k HP compared to where we were at the end of, the first PvP season, which was like, what, 130? So we went up 100k health. That is actually adding damage, along with other things like, is that scaling, is that HP scaling in line with how all the other damage stuff is scaling? And is that significant? I'm sure that is playing some type of a factor, but I am curious what other changes are going to happen to percent-based abilities. Specifically, Lasso was one. Another huge one was Greater Pyro. We'll see if anything comes out for that. But anyway, again, it's ticking for 18k on the PvE dummy. In PvP, it's anywhere between 15 to 18k, or 15 to 17k, let's just say. So that's what it's about doing. Now, let's go over, and it does not crit. It can't tick faster. It's not affected by int. If I use my int trinket, it wouldn't be affected because it's based on max HP. That's live. Let's go to the PTR and see what it's looking like. Now, here I won't have any type of PvP matches to compare. I only have this dummy, which is why I wanted to show you that 18k is about where it was in PvP. So now let's go ahead and use it. We're just gonna see how it goes. I'm using Lasso. Animation looks pretty amazing as always. Okay, we're already seeing some of the potential here. Holy crap. Holy crap. All right, so it hit 4. I just want to confirm. Wait, do I have? All right, I want to confirm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ticks for 5, seconds of damage. Totally makes sense. Lightning Lasso's damage. Oh my god. Okay, so the first time it hit for 40k crit. Holy crap. Okay, second time it ticked, it hit for 15k. So this is a non-crit based off my int, which is, I have pretty good gear, 410. Based off of just my int and my spell power, it's a little bit less, like 2k less than on live. But as you can see, I crit 4. Is that true? I crit 1, 2. I crit 3 out of 5 ticks. Holy crap. Yeah, I do stack crit. I'm about 25% crit. I can get a little bit more. I can edge that out. But oh my gosh, look at that. Now, of course, we're going to go into defense mode immediately, right? So the tick was a little bit more. So if it doesn't crit, it looks like the damage is going to go down a little bit. But again, depending on your int, if you're not geared, then it's going to do way less, which is pretty significant for elemental shaman that are trying to gear up. It will be gear dependent now. Big one. Make note of that. Next is it can crit. Clearly it can crit. It did, as everybody should know if you play elemental shaman, elemental fury means that any of my critical strikes deal 250% damage, which is why it's a little bit more than 2 times. Now, that is scaled down by 50% in PvP. So instead of doing 40k a tick, which is nuts in PvE, this critical strike would likely do around 30k. Now I want to go through that one more time. In PvP, crit damage is scaled down by 50% additional damage for all classes. Ellie is the only class that has it normally at 250 instead of 200. Now it goes down to 200, which means it's actually easy for us to do calculations. It means that this crit would have hit for 30k, which is crazy. That's crazy. Now let's scale that down a little bit. Let's say in PvP, yeah, I don't know. Let's just say it gets scaled down a little bit by even 5k. That's still 25k damage a tick every second, which is DPS. Wait, but DPS is damage per second, so this is almost 25k DPS during Lasso. All right, Destro Warlocks, we'll see you on the field. That's pretty nutty. Now, there's a few other things we want to test. We've seen these numbers, and I think, on live, we kind of get it, right? It's like 18k average. Got it. It's locked in at that based on health pools. Okay, probably hits tanks for more. Let's dive into the PvP, the PTR really quick. Now, it's based on spell power, so what are some things we can do to augment that? Well, number 1, and it can crit, which we know Sky Fury. So let's drop Sky Fury, and let's go ahead and do this again. The test is going out again. Okay, we're already seeing some craziness. Okay, we're seeing some craziness immediately. What do we see? We see the last one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We saw 2 crits, 2 out of 5 crits. Dude, that's pretty good. You can actually calculate how many crits you should expect in Lasso based on your crit percentage. That's crazy. All right, so how do we see the impact is? Instead of hitting for 40k, now it's hitting for almost 50k. That's crazy. Sky Fury affects it. That is really, 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 really good to know. And great news for Ellie. That means our burst windows can be more savage with Sky Fury, which is also good because in PvP, a lot of the times we're taking Spectral Recovery, we're taking Purifying Waters, we're taking Swelling Waves. Even I take Traveling Storm sometimes, and this is kind of like, all right, I'm taking it because I'm just trying to survive. Of course, Lasso is very strong right now. This actually seems like it's buffing it, if I'm looking at this numbers right. All right, unless the only thing I'll say is unless the health pools scale up dramatically. The other thing is, guys, this is the exact same character from live, so I don't have any of the new eye level gear. When the new raid comes out, expect a bump of a 15 eye level plus. Let's see if I can actually see what's in the raid. The Eternal Palace, right? The raid, if we go to heroic, let's assume that that's even achievable, is 430. That means people's item level is going to get around 430 very fast. That's how it always goes, everybody. I know that's sad to say, but that's how it always goes. 445. Holy crap. We're going to be doing some serious DPS. All right. Next test. We know Sky Fury is effective. Now let's go ahead and see how that unused trinket. If you've been getting one of these, you definitely want to hold on to them in this season. I have one that's 405 item level. You can get up to 420, which is nutty. But this one will give me an extra 2k spell power. Let's go ahead and see how that affects the ticks of damage. I'm using it. Lasso. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, you have to compare this to what we had before the original time, right? So we are getting 50k crits. That was without Sky Fury. That increased the tick damage of... the average tick damage by about 5%, which, of course, is going to increase the crits by about 2 times that, right? A little bit more than that, but yeah, in PvP, 2 times that. So you're going to be getting 20k ticks, and you're going to be critting for double that, so 40k ticks, and that's while using an unused trinket. That's pretty damn good. And that's actually nice because that's going to be maybe, I mean, I think this is going to be really strong, to be honest. I think this might be I'm not going to say nerfable, but I'm a little bit nervous because the scaling of damage here is pretty nutty. Unless they do something with they know where the item level's going versus the HP pool. This seems pretty nuts in the current content. So what we're going to do next is we're going to wait for our trinket to come back. Then we're going to use Sky Fury and the trinket because as mathematics has shown us, we're getting about an average of 2 crits a lasso, and we're going to dump it all on. We're going to use everything we can possibly do. We're going to use our orc racial, which will become in handy here, and we're going to see how much damage we can do when this comes back. So give us 1 sec. All right, guys, we have everything we need. We have our unused trinket, we have our racial, we have our Sky Fury totem. We're going to use it all, and then we're going to go ahead and use lasso. So we're going to see how much damage it does compared to everything else. All right, ready? Here we go. All right, there it all is. Now we press the button. The ticks are, oh my goodness. Okay, so we used everything. We did get 2 crits. Again, we're consistently getting 2 crits. I think that's probably because of the 25% crit rate. But holy crap, that can't... again, guys, I know this is a PvE thing, but holy crap, that's nuts. That's actually really strong. That means instead of... if you use nothing, the ticks are going to hit from 15 to 40k. If you use everything in your power, you're going to use 20 on non-crits and 64 on crits with Sky Fury and my racial and my trinket, which these are on the same cooldown, so I can use them both together every time. Okay, that's pretty dang strong. So I think this pretty much covers it, guys. It looks like Lasso is getting a buff. Appears to be getting a buff because it still is going to be locking people in place for 5 seconds undispellably. It's also, yeah, if we look, yeah, it's the red outline, so you can't dispel that. It's also going to be able to be moved while you can move while channeling, which is great for Ellie's, no one else. And the damage is looking outrageous. 20. So if you use everything during your burst window, you're going to get 20k non-crits ticks. So that means altogether, wait a minute, this means altogether, if I use everything, that did 60k. Oh, wow, 190k with 2 crits. Holy crap, that's insane. I didn't even add the numbers together. So I just lassoed, I got no crits. That's still 30, 60, 75k damage. That's a burst by pressing that button. Daddy likes that a lot. Wow. Okay, so this window is anywhere between the low end, this is as low as it could possibly go, is 75k, with the upper end being 195k. That is strong. That is strong. That's why I don't have a shirt on. I tried to transmog it all the way, but I couldn't. They wouldn't let me. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for being here. This is the breakdown. Let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think about this change? Buff? Nerf? It seems like it's a freaking buff, and it's cool that it scales. It's cool that it crits. It actually looks insane. Very good for Ellie's. Good news. Now, I have to dive into, in a separate video, guys, the essences. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. And I haven't looked at enhanced too much. I need to dive into that and see if there's changes like this that are being kind of folded into all the other changes that are going on with the patch notes. But Ellie, Lightning Lasso, looking good. Looking good. Guys, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for being here. Make sure to hit that like button below. Make sure to hit that sub button below if you want to see more content. We're doing Classic. We're doing BFA. We're doing everything. And I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much. And we will see you guys in the next one. Can't wait for 8.2. Take care, everybody.